Welcome, Shalom, Alafia, Hotep, ham and grits, peanut butter and jelly. That'll float your boat. I think I just shoot this quick joint on the way home. Hadn't done one of these in a couple weeks. So what I want to kind of really just brush over, because I'm going to go in tomorrow a little more in depth on chaotic energy. I'm going to get to the essence of it, how it's facilitated, so I don't want to get too much into that now. What I do want to talk about, since at the end of this month, I want to kind of just rehash a few things about Kali Durga. Alright, so let me first and foremost throw out there to, again, somebody's already contacted me. The ritual is Friday, March 29th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This ritual is a little more free-flowing, so basically you just need to contact me for an invite. The dress code is comfortable and casual. So I can put that out there because there's no specific dress code for the ritual. You definitely need to be in comfortable clothes so you can move around, dance. There'll be a lot of drumming, things of that nature. The only thing you really need to do, again, is just contact me to confirm for an invite, so we can actually have the exact head count of who and what's going to be there, so we can start. So again, just so I can put it out there, just comfortable dress, whatever that might be for you, as long as it's comfortable. Alright, so this is going to continue our theme. It just seems like we kind of flow and go in connection with the type of work. It seems like one working piggybacks off the other, and that's not a coincidence. That's kind of what happens when things kind of line up and they sync with each other. But we're continuing the process with the ritualistic work for road clearing work, which I think is very important, because it deals obviously with the core essence of shadow work, working on yourself, whatever you want to call it, getting your bullshit corrected, etc., etc. I talked a month or so ago, I did a video on Kali Durga. An aspect of Kali. That's going to be the path specifically that we're working with for this ritual. So I want to make that clear. And it isn't, if you're familiar with it, do your research, pull up what information you do have. I'd go read. If you didn't watch the video I did on it a while back, about a month or so ago, go watch that, because that basically describes what the goal and the objective is collectively and individually for that working. That's what we're focusing on. Clearing obstructed paths personally. The ritual will be designed to bring up those things that might be obstacles, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially, all the stuff, that'll come or rise to the surface for the individual will be in those areas. The process of doing it will be a couple different methods, as I briefly mentioned. There will be specific mantras, drumming, and some other stuff, some other surprises and implements. I won't talk about openly, but it's designed for that. And the focus has been hard on that the last couple months, because that really is the foundation, of doing this work. That is really, once you have that in line and that in order, things tend to kind of take off from there, and you'll understand the struggles and inconsistencies keep continuing when you kind of avoid this type of work, especially more so if you're on the path, or you just came on this path, quote unquote, or you might be somebody that's been on the path and just seem to suffer and struggle with inconsistency, and usually that's a telltale sign that you're not, doing, quote unquote, that shadow work. And again, I want to make this clear, and I'm going to go over it tomorrow. I'm going to go a little more in depth. I want to make this clear. When we're doing this work and these rituals, like for an example, and I'm going to again rehash this tomorrow. When we did the Sith ritual, it was an initiatic ritual in nature, but I want to make this clear. You didn't initiate yourself into any group or order. I want to make that clear. I said that on the video. Go watch the clip that we shot right after we did the ritual. The ritual itself, like the ritual we did a little while back prior to that, the ritual of the Eternal Order of Chaos and Darkness was an initiatic type of ritual in nature. But in that also, you didn't initiate yourself into any group, order, or Mickey Mouse Club, right? I don't do any of that bullshit, and I made that clear on the video. It's not a group, it's not an order. We do group rituals or workings, as I like to call them, but you're free to do that at your will, meaning it's just to get the experience, to tap into the energy, that's it. Meaning, you're not obligated, you didn't join anything, and you've heard me say that on old videos, you heard me say that back on old radio shows. We're not trying to recruit, we're not trying to get you to join anything, be a part of any order or organization. That's not what I do, I make that clear. Alright, when you come to the group, the things we do on a monthly basis as a group, it's your free will. You can come, you don't have to come. You can come 1 month, and you don't have to come back for 3, 4, 5 months. It's irrelevant. You can come every month. It's irrelevant. It's just an option that's there for people that want that experience. I want to make that clear. That's all it's for. Okay, you're not joining anything. You're not being part of any group, any club, any order, organization. None of that shit. All right? That's the difference with this path and other paths. We don't have all that structure and all that clubs. I'm going to go into a little bit more of that when we deal with the vampiric chaotic energy and devouring tomorrow. But, again, I'm not going to open that up right now. But I want to make that clear since we're talking about the ritual of Kali Durga, okay? You're not joining anything. I want to make that clear. I don't do that shit. All right? So understand that. You participate at your own free will. You choose not to, you choose not to. You do, you do. You come frequently, fine. You come once in a while, cool. All that shit is fine and dandy. That's entirely up to you. It's just to get yourself acclimated with the energy and get the experience under your belt. That's it. And it's your choice. You always have the choice, whether you do or you don't. But to continue our theme with the road clearing work, Kali Durga, and as we know, Kali in general, deals with clearing those paths. It's an intense path that one works with to facilitate and bring about change. As we know, Kali Ma deals with that, and I'm trying to shift away and not focus on this particular work. And yes, there's sexual energy that's normally there with Kali, but not particularly in this ritual. So if that, is on your mind, I want to make that clear, because one thing I've been talking about a lot lately is getting away from the stereotype of all these archetypes and just focusing on the sexual stuff. Because to me that gets a little bit watered down and overdone. When a lot of these female archetypes and female paths, they're intense warrior-like energies. And in my opinion, working with them over the years, they're more intense than quote-unquote these masculine archetypes, if you've really worked with them. And the goal is to bring about the needed change, right? Some of you always hear me talking about needed change as opposed to wanted change, because sometimes, again, we get completely confused with what our wants are as opposed to our needs. And again, most people spend majority of their life chasing their wants. This path is going to show you, all right, this is what I really need. It's going to make you see things, Kali Durga makes you see things differently. It makes you see the right people you need to have around you. It makes you see the things you really need that are necessities at the current moment in your life. It makes you see the things you've been wasting your time and energy on. That's called doing real internal work. When you have those real, and again, obviously that varies from individual to individual, because everybody's path is unique in the sense that it's different based on those needs. So it'll be a tremendous help. I know for individuals that do participate. I know there are some individuals right now that that I communicate with email that they're doing their own personal work for this for the last several weeks, and I think that's a great thing, because it shows that you're actually getting it. It shows that you're actually taking, in my opinion, the correct steps, because again, I see so much people jump in this path and they're going to all this intense stuff right off the bat, and that's where a lot of the conflict and the problems come from, because they're tapping into things not doing the shadow work or the work on themselves first. That is the explanation and the reason why, if you're an individual that struggles with inconsistency in results, because it's trying to tell you again that your energy is not in the right area. You should be focusing on other things. And that's another thing. I believe I mentioned this a few weeks ago, but let me throw this out there again. Understand too, when you work with aspects of Kali, especially this type of aspect, it's very important to understand. You might have a specific intent, a very specific intent. And what you're focusing on with Kali becomes more destructive, or quote unquote, the situation appears to have become worse. That's because it's trying to make you aware and focus your attention on other things in your life. That's how this shit works. Some people get it twisted and get fucked up, and they're not prepared for that. And they can't understand, why did things get turned upside down? Why did things just go haywire? Because that's one of the many ways, and that's an intense way that this Kali energy will fuck with you sometimes at work. So it's very important to have that mindset when going forward and doing that type of work. And that's what this is really about. Because, again, as I mentioned before, not all this work is pleasant and joyful, right? A lot of it can be painful. Now, I'm not talking about on a physical level. I'm talking about on a spiritual and an emotional level. It can be very taxing. But the rewards are great once you get through it. So we will be focusing on that in the ritual. So I just kind of wanted to put that out there real quick. And again, that's going to be on Friday, March 29th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, just comfortable dress. Come dress comfortable. Comfortable shoes. Sneakers, because you're going to need to be comfortable for this ritual. All right. Also want to throw out there to keep pumping it out, even though it's very early, but I put it out there. We have the 3-day event in October. It's going to be the Journey of the Black Adept Conference 2. That'll be from the October 25th to the 27th. That's a 3-day event. And again, as I said before, like we did last year, it's going to be different people doing presentations, workshops, classes. We'll be doing a couple of different rituals that weekend, and obviously some socializing and some fun. So I put that out early for those that maybe can't come all the time but want to make some plans to come to an event. So here we are in March, got plenty of time. October is a great time of the year. It's kind of when the weather really gets nice down here. I figure it's a great time of the year to travel. It's fall, etc. It worked out so well last year. We figured we'd do it again and keep this as something, a yearly type of event every October. Last weekend in October is what we're aiming for every year. So that's the 25th to the 27th. All right. Also, just to put real quick upcoming shows, just as a reminder. This Thursday, we got Bokor Rodney Coleman on Primordial Chaos Radio. That'll be this Thursday at 8 o'clock. That's on the 14th. On March 21st, next week, we have Sister Oni in the house. That's gonna be a whole different energy for you people. Sister Oni's like that, that around the way down chick from back in the day. She got that vibe. She'll be kicking it on the 21st. On March 28th, the chaotic female, Baphomarga. Some of you guys know her. You see her frequently in some of the chats and stuff. She'll be on the show on March 28th. In April, I got some stuff going on in early April. We're probably going to take a 2-week break on a Thursday night, do the stuff I got going on, but we might squeeze a Sunday show in there possibly, or a Friday, just to compensate for that week. I'm not sure yet, or maybe Saturday. I don't know yet, but I'll deal with that when it comes. We're still a few weeks out, but later in April, on April 18th, Dr. Edward Bruce Bynum will be back on the show as a reminder, and then the following week, April 25th, Val Cadman will be back on the show. And then I talked with Richard Page earlier today. He's going to come back on May 18th, I believe it is. We agreed to. And he wanted everybody to know that tuned into the show that, quote unquote, and quoting him exactly, he had a great time, he enjoyed it. He says he's not really a public speaker, he was very nervous, but we made it easy for him. Believe it or not, an author that can write books and express himself freely was extremely nervous about coming on live and publicly. But he said we made him feel comfortable and he had a great time and he's looking forward to coming back in May. And again, that more than likely, we haven't officially decided the time, but I could probably tell you more than likely we might do it a little later, since he said he's completely off that week. That's why he wants to do it in that week. So even though the time there, we might just come on a little bit later, possibly maybe 6 or 7 o'clock instead of 4. But I'll let you know. The only thing we haven't decided on is the time. But he said he might do it a little bit later, so it'll be a little more later here, but we'll see. But definitely May 18th. So that's what we got coming up. And there'll be more. I'm working on some other guests. I'll save that down the road. Some other books and authors that we all frequently read. I got a couple other things lined up, but once I get it official, I'll put that out there. And again, I want to throw this out there, very important. The objective of bringing these people on to give you guys an opportunity to ask questions about the books you read. So it would be my recommendation, and I know sometimes we get caught up in the chat socializing, and I might kind of keep that off when the guest is on, so you guys have to call in and speak to the guests. We want to get real involved and interactive, because again, that's the objective, to bring these guests on, because these are all the books we make reference to. These are all the books a lot of us read. So I want you guys to be able to pick the brains of these authors. And the objective is see where they were coming from. Find out their sources, their research, their experiences, because the objective is so that can help you with your experiences. Not because you're trying to copy it, not because you're trying to mimic it, but let's find out where their creative inspiration came from. Like, I was very interested to ask Richard how he came up with the rituals at the end of his alter ego book. You know, that chakra ritual is very interesting. The blood ceremony is a very interesting ritual. And when I look at it, I can get a lot out of that and adjust it to fit. I made my own changes to it and stuff when I did it, but it's a powerful ritual. And I brought it up because I like the concept that it's an Luciferian ritual. It's done during the spring equinox, which deals with regeneration and renewal. It, in a sense, is kind of like a self-initiation ritual. And that's why I mentioned it to him. And he said it's along those lines, yes. It's kind of the idea. It's a great ritual, in my opinion, to get yourself acclimated with the energies. That's the type of work you want to do. People will use the word current or energy. To me, because of the significance of how he came up with it in the time of the season, and especially during the spring equinox, it deals with regeneration, renewal, growth. So it's a real powerful ritual. But again, the objective is when these people come on, get up inside their heads, see what inspired them, what motivated them, what pushed them in this area. Of course, I'm going to ask the necessary questions, the background, your history, how you got into this. I mean, yeah, that's the basic shit. But let's tap into the creative intuition of these people. So it might, you might get surprised. It could push you in an area, that you never thought was possible. You know what I'm saying? So let's make sure we're on that A game with that. Don't get caught up in, let's not take that time when we're in the chat to just be socializing and bullshitting with each other. It's not for that. We can do that shit anytime, all right? So let's keep that in mind when we got guests. We have an opportunity. You can call in. You can come in live. You can call in on the talk show. I got 2 platforms up. I'm streaming simultaneously. You got every option in the world to participate. You understand? Use that opportunity. You can either come in live on talk show. You can call in on talk show. You can come in live on the YouTube, or you can call in. All right, we have a call-in number now for the show. You can call in anytime that I'm live. I put it out there, so you have the ability to let your voice be heard. And also, I want you to add to the build. It don't have to just be about asking questions. You know what I'm saying? Call in and add to the build. We're building on something. Add some flavor to this shit. That's what the videos and the shows are for. They're not just to sit there and let's just listen and not participate. We got all these different aspects on the platform, let's utilize them, let's participate. And it seems like there's always the same group that do it all the time. Brother Taja, Wacky J, Duma, Baffa Marga, etc. There's Brother Phil. I mean, let's get everybody. I mean, there are people regularly that call in, but not, I'm just pointing out the ones that it seems to do it consistently. And again, I'm not doing it to say that makes anybody better or worse. What I am trying to encourage more participation and let your voice be heard. It's like we used to say, same thing on the radio show. Great show. Just listen, it's awesome show. That's cool, but add some flavor to it. Let's build. That's the objective. So take advantage when we got these people here. That's the reason, that's the intent of doing the show, not just to bring these people on because they're people that write books and shit. That's a waste of my time. I want to bring them on for you guys so you guys can question them, pick their brains, kind of get a feel for what it is they're doing, what they're doing, all right? So that's kind of what we got going on. I just wanted to kind of quickly run through that. So we're going to continue this theme. We're about to shift to some whole new shit next month, but I'll tell you, I'll wait till we get there with that for next month. We're going to wind down some of this work that we've been doing for the last few months. And I think this Kali Durga is kind of that last oomph, push of power. And it's going to be a ritual that, like I said, it's going to be a lot of solitude, serenity, beauty, intensity. It's one of them rituals or workings that kind of embody all of those different energies. It's a great experience if you haven't experienced something like that. So we will continue our work for the rest of this month with that. And then again, Tuesday night, you see the post. I'm going to kind of have some different things presented. I'm going to present in detail specific books that I would suggest you get for what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. I'm not going to really go into excerpts from the books. I'm going to be talking about feeding techniques, taking out the spooky bullshit and nonsense. I'm going to give you the references. I'm going to give you 4 top books on this. Some of you have most of them, but I want to make sure that you should have it in your library if vampirism is something you practice. So we're gonna go. It's gonna be good because we're gonna go full spectrum with it. We're gonna show both flip sides to this tomorrow night. So definitely tune in for that. We might have some surprises too. People stopping by if it works out the way. I hope it works out. If not, we roll with it. And then next Tuesday, I forgot one last thing that I totally forgot. We're gonna have Priestess Aset Ra Amen back on the show. Will be next Tuesday night. So mark that down. She's going to be back. We're going to do a show together on Tuesday night. Raven Hecker will also be there. And she'll probably do something somewhere in between these shows. But next Tuesday will be fun. I know a lot of you gave tremendous response to her being on the show. She had a great time when she was here too. And she's looking forward to coming back on. And she's going to have something prepared. She hasn't told me yet. I'll get with her probably sometime middle to the end of this week. I had a great time with her. I think she added a different flavor and energy. And like I said, the thing that's different with her than a lot of other people out there, not just females, but men too, she's well-rounded. She's into every damn thing, man. She fucks with it all. And that's what I'm talking about. She ain't stuck like Chuck. She ain't on 1 or 2, 3 different things. She be fucking with it at all. And that's what I'm talking about, being versatile and fluid on this path. You gotta fuck with all that shit. You don't get stuck on anything. And that's one thing I really admire about her. How she's very fluid. She be fucking with the Obia, African witchcraft, sorcery, magic. She fuck with the Satanist shit, the Luciferian stuff. She can get into that Kabbalah shit, if that's your thing, fucking with the Kabbalah stuff. It's all a matter of perspective. And that, to me, is what separates her. Not just from females, but from people in general. And I think those are good examples that we can look to and at. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, but anyway, all right, so last thing, and anybody interested for readings or consultations or the online classes. Everybody should have their material that's signed up. If I didn't, I did forget one person. Just remind me. I will. Cool. I will get you your stuff. My bad. I know you sent me an email. So besides that one person, I will get you your stuff. Everybody else should have it. March 23rd is when we start the session. And again, it's open to sign up until the day before. But once we start, as I said before, it don't make no sense really bringing you in if you miss a session, because I'd be doing you a disservice. You wouldn't be getting, what you're supposed to get. That's why. All right. So that's going to begin Saturday, March 23rd. And again, you can email me for what you see, or the email in the email description box. I put it out there for you, khnum19@gmail.com. That's it. I am at the Crizow, the crib, the house, whatever the fuck you want to call it. All right, and we will talk soon, people. Peace.